Ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to start the press conference of Japan Pavilion in Expo 2020 Dubai. I'm Junior Tashiro, Director, Trade Fair Department of JETRO, and will be MC for today's press conference. On behalf of JETRO, I welcome all of you to this event. And now, to begin with, I would like to call Mr. Tomiyasu Nakamura, who is the Commissioner General of Japanese Section Expo 2020 Dubai, to deliver his greeting. Mr. Nakamura, please.
Welcome, our dear friends in media, to today's press conference. I am Tomiyasu Nakamura, Commissioner General of the Japanese section of Expo 2020 Dubai. I would like to begin by giving a little background about myself. On September 21st, it was almost 2 months ago, I had the honor of being appointed by Japanese government to my current position for Expo 2020 Dubai. This is my second appointment as Commissioner General for Expo, following Astana Expo last year. When the Osaka Expo was held in Japan in 1970, long time, I was only a high school boy. The experience left such an impression on me that I decided to join JETRO, to be involved in Expos. By the way, there was the election for Expo 2025 at the BIE General Assembly in Paris the day before yesterday. We, Japan, Osaka, fortunately could win. Thank you very much. We are both coming here from Paris now. I return to my people. Over the years, I was dispatched by JETRO to a number of countries in Asia and Africa, where I threw myself into work related to expanding two-way trade and investment. I became aware that the most important things for achieving mutual growth and success is direct communication and mutual understanding. I believe that this is the precise role of Expos. I am eagerly looking forward to continuing this work, which has been my dream since I was young here in Dubai. In tomorrow's International Participants Meeting, I will officially sign the participation contract on behalf of the Japanese government. We are holding this press conference prior to that to introduce the concept and the appearance of the Japan Pavilion to you. I hope that our pavilion will intrigue you and gain your support both before and during the Expo rounds. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, according to this program, and Mr. Omar, but now he is on the way to there. So, later, welcome to the next. After that's coming, welcome to the meeting. And next, moving next, I would like to call Mr. Tetsuya Azuma, who is Deputy Commissioner General of Japanese Section Expo 2020 Dubai, to deliver his explanation about the concept of Japan. Mr. Azuma, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tetsuya Azuma. As he introduced me, I am the Deputy Commissioner General for the Japanese section in Expo 2025. I know some of you may be more interested in Japanese cuisine that are waiting for us, but please hang on and listen to our explanation about our pavilion. Let me jump on to this explanation on this material. Let me The theme of Japan Pavilion is the cross point for the future. Given the Dubai Expo theme, Connecting Minds, Creating the Future, we'd like to show how collaboration or co-creation generates a new value. We think Expo is a great place for people with different backgrounds and different ideas to interact and create something new. So we'd like visitors to experience such fusion or the power of co-creation in the Japanese pavilion. In doing so, we think it is very important to put whatever action into practice, and this is why we decided our subtitle to be Join, Synchronize, and Act. These are the ideas behind our theme. And let me explain a little bit about our pavilion, the Japanese pavilion's appearance. I will later invite our architect to explain in more details, but let me briefly touch on how our Japanese pavilion look like. This is the image of Japanese pavilion during the nighttime, and this is the image during the daytime. And also this shows kind of an approach inside the building, and so in a sense it's the inside of the building. And I'd like to point three important features of our pavilion. First, and most importantly, the facade is made from original geometric pattern written here, drawn here. This is symbolizing the connection between Middle East and Japan from the ancient times. Also, it shows that new ideas are created through the interaction of different ideas and cultures. So in a sense, this design itself symbolizes our theme, the cross point for the future. The second feature is the light and shadow. The contrast of light and shadow has long been a very Japanese aesthetic expression. So here you can see during the nighttime, you can see a light coming out from inside the building. And also during the daytime, inside the building, you can sense the shadow and the light. And the third feature is the water and wind. As you can see, in front of Japanese pavilion, there'll be a water place, as you can see in the front. And we're gonna show a lot of elements of water, even within the pavilion as well. And with regard to the exhibition itself, what's inside the pavilion, we're still working on it, and details have to be further developed. But at the time being, we've decided that we will set up three rooms, symbolizing the sub-theme, join, synchronize, and act. And again, we're still working on it, and we do not have any material explaining the details of this, but we will update you on this matter when when we completed our work for the exhibition. As Mr. Nakamura pointed out, fortunately, we have been elected as the country to host the 2025 Expo in Osaka, Kansai. So we think that we need to somehow incorporate a message that will lead to and bridge the Dubai Expo and Osaka Expo in our exhibition. And lastly, but not least, we plan to do a lot of various events in front of the Japanese pavilion. Actually, we have a space that is on the left-hand side on the water that will be used for various events organized by the Japanese pavilion. So we plan to have various events in front of Japanese pavilion, And also, we're planning to have a Japanese restaurant inside the Japanese pavilion, which will be located on this side, the right-hand side, inside the building. And we believe that our theme, the cross point for the future, should be expressed through all these materials. So we'd like to have a lot of co-creation or interaction of, for example, chefs or creating a new cuisine, or have a cultural exchange program in front of the Japanese pavilion, and that kind of stuff. So again, we need to work on that, but our idea is to have a lot of various activities and to showcase our theme as a whole. I think that's it for my explanation. Thank you very much, and I would like to invite my architects to add on the details or the ideas behind their design. Thank you very much. If any.
I'm Yuko Noyama. I'm architect of Japan Pavilion. I want to explain this. Can I have attention please for this model? As Mr. Azuma mentioned briefly, this is the model that we are creating. First of all, the characteristic of this design is that we have a water feature at the front of the building, the pavilion itself. And then along with the concept of the water and the wind, that will go through the entire project. And then when you proceed to the pavilion itself, the facade is a very symbolic. It's a fusion of the Japanese traditional design of the hemp leaves or linen leaves, together with the arabesque, a very traditional Arabic pattern. So I like to take those concepts, integrate it into the facade design. So that is our facade. And then we are also featuring this detailed design right here that I hope they have more later to have a look at the details.
ともう一点、これが単なる装飾的なファサードではなくて、環境を整える役とか、こちらの幕にこの水盤を通す風とこの膜に付着する水の気化熱によって、自然のラジエーターのような役割を持っています。
Also, I like to highlight this design is incorporated with environmental consciousness. To have this water filter, we have installed a special film or membranes, and that works as if it's elaborating the water surface, and then that's functionally keeping that area cool. So that is one of the ideas that I incorporate into the design for the environmental point of view.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Azuma, Miss Yama. And still now, Mr. Omar just on the way, and sometimes so limited. And now we start with a Q&A session. And before that, I would like to introduce other members. Now Ms. Yuko Nagayama, who is the architect or designer of Japan Pavilion, and Mr. Daishi Ogawa, who is the chief manager of architect design department of NTT Facility INC. And today, general producer cannot attend it. So instead of him, Mr. Hiroaki Seto, chief producer, did them tonight. And these members will answer to your questions. And basically, I will accept the question in English, and sometimes I make it a translator for Japanese and English. And if you have some questions, I hope raise your hand. And when you ask the questions, please say who do you want to answer. Okay. So do you have any questions? I give you the mic. Excellent. Mr. President.
Good morning. This is Sanjay Timala from Colleague Times. My question is, the pavilion total, what is this area for the pavilion that is dedicated in terms of square feet? If you could tell us how much is the area. Number two, I would also like to know if there is talk about sustainability in your pitch note. So how far sustainable measures have been adopted to build this model?
Regarding the first question, I need, I guess, permission from our colleague from the organizer, because we haven't signed the participating contract yet. I mean, technically speaking, we haven't decided a plot yet. It's almost done in a sense that we're going to sign it tomorrow. So it's supposed to be somewhat above 5,000 square feet. Meters, I'm sorry. Meters. Yep. And should be somewhere in between opportunity and sustainability area. And what was the second question about the sustainability? Meaning that what kind of
environment friendly
Uh-huh.
measures that you take here, because the pitch is about sustainability.
Okay. Well, actually, this is something we're still working on. But for example, we're thinking of making the water recyclable. That is in front of the pavilion. It's not just bringing water and disposing it somewhere, but to make it. Yeah, but this is again, this is a tentative idea, and we're still working on the details of whether it's feasible or not. But that's one idea. Another is that, as Nagayama-san explained, that it's going to be the building itself has kind of a cooling function through bringing in the wind. So it's also, again, it's not just using the air conditioner, but using the natural wind to kind of make inside the building comfortable. That's another thing. And also, we're thinking of making the materials to be used for facade to be recyclable, so that even after this, well, basically these pavilions are to be dismantled after the period of the exposition. But we're thinking of kind of dissolving it and using it and recycling it in another place. That's some examples of what we are thinking about the sustainability.
I'm Yusuf from Tحتفي newspaper. How much the landscaping, how will it be done? The gardens and the flowers and plants which will be used?
ランドスケープは検討中ですが、基本的にその水辺、美しい水辺の風景を作る、それがすごくこう日本的な水辺の風景を作るというところのイメージは決まっていて、そこのプランツをどういうふうにするかというのは今いろいろと調査をしているところです。
We are still under discussion and also gathering some ideas, but the theme or some inspiration comes from the Japanese traditional artistic beauty of the water future. So that is a sort of the image that we have as a concept. However, we haven't really decided what sort of plants or the landscaping can be.
Good morning, I'm Farooq Faisal from Muslim. How much the total value for Pavilion Expo? And how many companies they will maybe participate? The total value? Yes, but for the design and all you don't participate.
It's 5 billion in yen, so should be $50 million. That's the rough amount of budget that the government of Japan will secure for this project. But again, this is well, in Japan, it's the budget is decided by year. So actually, we don't know our budget for the next year yet. So that's what we're asking for the Ministry of Finance at the moment. But in any case, looking at the past expos, our budget are roughly the same, and it's $50 million. And that's one thing. And we're, as you mentioned, we're also looking for Japanese corporates to kind of participate and sponsor this project as well. And we're still working on it, and we don't know how much money we can fundraise through this project. So to answer your question, I mean, it's not decided, but roughly speaking, the size of the budget should be somewhat plus $50 million. That's what we know at the moment.
So what all the companies have signed up for participation?
Not yet. I mean, not. Rigid contract has been made, but we're in a good communication with various companies, and maybe we'll finish some contracts somewhere by the end of this fiscal year, or maybe Japanese by the end of next March, maybe. But we'll see. We don't know yet. It's under negotiation.
My name is Kibe from a Nikkei newspaper. Could you explain a little bit more about the effect of the economic promotion, especially the Japanese business?
We believe that one main goal, one of the big purposes of Expo should be to kind of showcase what you have and possibly to make it to selling your company's products or selling your cultures or whatever you have to abroad or to the hosting countries or that area. So in that sense, we think this Expo is a great chance, great opportunity for Japanese, in a sense that not many Japanese companies or people know a lot about the area or the country, and I think it's same the vice versa. So in that sense, we think this is a very good opportunity, and we'd like to invite as many enthusiastic companies to take in this project. For example, what we've been talking is that if there's going to be some sort of technologies displayed in Japanese pavilion, it should be something that that we would like to how to say PR in this area, and even for the restaurant, maybe we can find some new food or something that is not very much known in this area yet, but has a lot of potential to be sold in this area. So in a sense that, again, we're still talking with many companies about what to do, so I cannot answer it in concrete matters, but yes, in general, we're trying to promote what we have in this area. And actually, it's, although I skipped, it's written in here. There are 5 aims that we have for this expo, and number 2 says that develop and promote economic relations. This essentially means that's something which pointed out.
Do you have any questions?
Faisal Salah from The National. Throughout the past 20-30 years, there's been a very strong cultural exchange between the UAE and Japan, especially with younger people. Is there a plan to focus on how much Japanese culture has influenced people, especially here in the UAE?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again? I mean, so the younger generation
Many people in the UAE take very strong influence from Japanese culture, books, movies, anime, all of these things. And they start to learn from the culture through these mediums. Is there any plan to have any part of the pavilion to focus on how much influence Japan has had on this region through these mediums?
Again, we haven't decided in details, but there has been a lot of discussion about introducing such like Japanese culture to our pavilion, but it has not been finalized yet, so I cannot answer again, sorry, directly, but we all know that there are many mangas or animes or a lot of stuff known in this area, in Dubai, in UAE, in broader Middle East. So yes, we'd like to take advantage of that and to bring some of those elements in our pavilion. Also, with regard to the younger generation you mentioned, I think one of the beauty of the expo is to influence a younger generation to how to say, let them see what the future world would be, or what the future technologies would be, or how other countries look like. Again, from that viewpoint as well, we'd like to bring as many Japanese things to our pavilion and to let the younger generation in this country or in other countries in the Middle East to experience what Japan looks like.
So, do you have other?
There is a during the period of Expo, there is a national day for each international participant country. So we also will have the Japan Day. Just it's one day, but in Japan Day, we have not decided the details yet, but usually we are going to introduce our traditional cultural event, not only culture, traditional, also the young generation's cultures to UAE people. We have not decided the details yet, but maybe we'll be able to do that. So please expect our Japan.
Just to add on that, a little bit off the point maybe, but we do you know Hello Kitty, the cat? We used that character in Expo Milan, kind of a special character for the Japanese pavilion. And also during our campaign in the bid for the Osaka Kansai 2025, you used Hello Kitty again, and also the Pokemon, you know, Pikachu and other stuff. So hopefully we can invite some you know Japanese character to our pavilion in Dubai as well.
Hi, my name is Takara from Japanese newspaper Asahi. I have two questions for Mr. Azuma-san. Can you translate in Japanese? I mean, the theme, the cross point for the future, and the join, synchronize, and act. How do you write in the Japanese document? And the second question is, you mentioned about the square meters is 5,000 square meters. Is it the building itself or the whole pavilion? And then another two questions for Mr. Nakamura, if you don't mind, I want to ask that in Japanese. 先ほど大阪へのブリッジになるときに東さんがおっしゃってたんですけれども、どのように今回大阪が決まってつなげていきたいかっていうのが一つと、あと来た方々にですね、どのように感じてもらうようなパビリオンを目指しているのかというのを日本語でお願いできますか。Thank you.
So let me first take the first two questions. The theme in Japanese is 地球交差点。地球交差点で、サブタイトルは出会い、共感し、そして動き出す。Join, sync, act ですね。出会いは、はい、普通の出会いです。もしよろしければ。後で。はい、そうします。はい。Regarding the second question, it's the size of the plot. So it's not the size for the building itself, but I guess the total. Well, again, it's the size of the plot, so it's not the building itself.
そこの水とかも含めて全体で5000円ですかね。
You know, just 2 days ago, we could win the competition for Expo 2025. 日本語でない、英語ですか。必ずそれはつなげていくようなですね、ことはしますが、これからそれは作っていかなければいけません。さっき言いましたように、東が言いましたように、新しい日本のカルチャーを紹介するようなそのキャラクターをとかですね、で大阪を入れていく、それからここのテーマをどういうふうに大阪のテーマにつなげていくかというような工夫は、これから中でします、日本パビリオンの中で考えていきますが、何しろ、これから練らなきゃいけないです。負けたかもしれませんからね、2日前には。とにかくこれ明日コントラクトすればですね、皆さんの方にオケージョナルに公開できるようになりますので、今はそれぐらいしか答えられないですね。
There was a question from Asahi Shimbun, the Japanese journalist. There are two questions to Mr. Nakamura, the Commissioner General. The first is like Mr. Nakamura mentioned earlier, he likes to pass on that from Dubai Expo onto the 2025 Osaka Expo. So what that exactly mean to, or how you like to connect those two events? That was a question. The Commissioner General answered, we just won the bid only 2 days ago, so there's not much detail like I can expose here, and then especially until that I signed the official contract, then perhaps we can really start discussing among the team. Yes, one idea is, as we just touched upon, we could perhaps proceed with the way of introducing or re-emphasizing the new Japanese culture by utilizing some character. But besides, no detail that we can't disclose at this moment, you can understand, like we could have lost 2 days ago. So at this moment, we just starting the internal discussion. Thank you for understanding.
Let me just add on that. For example, in the past expos, other countries have had some corners or exhibitions showing that next is ours. For example, in UAE, Dubai's case, I saw some presentation in Expo Astana, UAE Pavilion, that we're waiting in 2020 or something like that. So that's something we can easily imagine at the exit of the Japanese pavilion. We have something showing that, but not just what we're thinking is not just to have something tangible there, but it is more about to bring some message or something more substantial to lead to the expo. And I think there are many rooms in that sense to cooperate with the organizers in Dubai, so that we can inherit the legacy of Dubai Expo and to make the both expos very fruitful.
Other questions? Okay, thank you very much for everyone. So we want to finish the press conference, but as a rule, we prepared a lunch buffet. So please help yourself with some meal, and you talk directly to interview the participants. And we prepared Japanese noodle and sushi. Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation and good attendance. Thank you.